financial wellness. I'm a firm believer of making sure that you've got your financial eggs in order, if you will, because a lot of times it helps you move on with the rest of your life with a little bit more sanity. I mean, if it's one less thing that you have to worry about, kudos to you, right? And I've always, in the last 20 years, thought about how I could impact my community in terms of financial literacy, in terms of education, to be able to help them see that, you know what, financial health is just around the corner. You can absolutely have a, you know, a sense of security. You can absolutely have a sense of, what do you call it, certainty, if you understand where you're going financially. So we always talk about, in the last few weeks, you've heard me talk about financial goals. You heard me talk about a financial budget. You've heard me talk about going through, you know, this pandemic and being able to try to understand where you fall with your budget. We've got some, you know, money coming in from the government. Some of you guys are still receiving your income from your job, or maybe part-time of it, or, you know, you've gotten the stimulus check. And I'm looking up because I've got Instagram. That's why I'm not looking at, but it's so important for us to be able to look and be accountable for all these things that we have, to be able to understand, what do we do with it? What do we do with the new norm now? And why is the new norm important? Because the new norm will help us find a purpose, a better purpose. And although we started the year, your video says it's ended. I don't know why, but although it's, I'll just go on. Although it's had a, you know, you had a purpose in the year before. Let's log this out again. I love it. Phase 3, third time's the charm. Anyway, although it's done what it's done, we are not victims. We are more than just survivors. We're thrivers. And if you learn how to have a new set of purpose, a new sense of purpose with your money, with what you're doing with your time, with what you're doing with your health, now more than ever, it's going to be something that makes the biggest impact in your life, in the future you. So we're going through a transition period for the next month, where we're going to be coming out of our job, and we're coming into the world of, we're coming out of our homes, and we're going back to our jobs, back to our offices, back to our businesses. So to be able to understand what we need to do to make sure that our purpose for the rest of the year suits what we're looking for, in terms of making sure that stress doesn't add more problems to your health, making sure that your financial awareness creates more opportunities for you than the lack of. How we do these things is important, because they don't happen automatically. They happen with intention. If nothing else, you know, if nothing else, we need to be purposeful in all those areas, right? So as we're trying to log back into Facebook, we're still live on Instagram. I love it. Don't fail us. I want to be able to maybe look and see, you know, what you're going to be sold out on, what you're going to build as your level of understanding when it comes to how you will build your future self. And yesterday we talked about it a little bit. I had a team meeting with a few of my colleagues, and I said, you know, if you think about the next best version of you a year from now, when you look at your next best version of you 5 years from now, whatever your financial goals are, right? Where does that start? How do you start that? That doesn't start until you look at being the best version of yourself today, right? It doesn't start until you can be the best you today. So even if it's one thing, in fact, Dr. Usha, you and I talked about this yesterday too. If you could just do one good thing today, if you can just move towards, you know, your success, just, you know, one action at a time, what would that mean to you, right? What would that mean to your overall success? What would that mean to your overall opportunities that come up? We tend to think we need to make a world of change and a world of difference, and it has to be now. We are so impatient with time. We're impatient with ourselves. We're impatient with our clients. We're impatient with the world. We want everything to happen now. We live in a microwave society, right? We want to be able to put it in now, get it in immediately. And we don't really understand that sometimes life, in fact, a lot of times life has a delayed reaction. Life has a delayed effect, and things don't show up until maybe a week from now. That's even early, right? A month from now, maybe 6 months from now, maybe a year from now, but it absolutely shows up. You know, there's no way that if you take action towards something, you're not going to get a reaction. For every action, there's an equal amount of reaction. So what you do with yourself and how passionate you are with what you do, how intentful you are with what you do is so, so important, because again, the way you put in action is the reaction that you're going to get, right? Is the feedback you're going to get. So I want to talk today about being part of the solution and not the problem. And I think that's important in my world, because most people only see the problems in front of them because we're so close, right? Like your problem's right here and all you see is your problem. We're so close to our problem. We don't see anything else. And a lot of times when I have teammates come in and say, well, Virginia, you know, I've got this issue and that issue and things are going wrong. It's like the whole world is falling apart. You know, everybody is against them. Everybody doesn't know you to be against you, right? The whole world isn't falling apart. Maybe that one thing that you wanted to achieve didn't go your way, so you make it a bad day or you make it a bad week. My friends, it's just a bad moment. It's a lapse in judgment. It is not a bad week. It is not a bad month. It certainly does not have to ruin the rest of your year, right? Certainly doesn't have to ruin the rest of your year. So I'm excited because as we're starting our new bucket, for those of you who can see, I've got my empty bucket. Did you envelope it? Did you deposit it? I hope you did. Don't use it. And I'm putting in my dollar. It's just $1, but that dollar goes a long way, right? Remember, this month is 31 days. So that's gonna help you put away $496 in that month. So you want to be able to do that. So $1 goes a long way. Today's the 1st, you save $1. Tomorrow is the 2nd, so you save 2. So just like we're able to put that together, right? So as you're saving in your bucket, the other thing that I've asked you to do consistently in the last 2 months is on a weekly basis, keep a log of, you know, what you've been spending money on, what you've been doing. Because, I mean, think about it. We have entered May. We are mid-year. I feel like we just started this year and now we're mid-year, right? The year's gonna go by so much faster, and it stopped again. The year's gonna go so much faster than ever before. So it's important that we're able to focus on, you know, what's ahead. You got to keep going. You got to keep exercising. You got to keep monitoring what you're doing with your money. So having said that, as we go through the next few months and the next few weeks, we're going to do some things that are going to help you not only stay fit financially, but we're going to help you stay committed financially. And because we're going to help you keep your commitment both financially and physically, I've got a special guest with me here today, and I'm so excited to have her on. And as we get Famous Facebook back on, I will introduce you, but I want all of our mediums to be able to hear about her, be able to recognize what she's gone through. And her story is incredible. Her story is powerful. Her story is my story. It's your story. It's everybody's story, because it's real. Because it's something that she's physically had to fight through. It's something mentally she had to overcome. It's something emotionally she had to, you know, prepare for. So these are all things that we go through. And yes, our emotional life impacts our financial life. It definitely impacts our health, right? Because I don't know about you, but when I'm stressed, I like a chocolate bar. I like some ice cream. When I'm nervous, I go back to being comfortable, which is eating. And to be able to come out of this stressful environment with, you know, what's happening with COVID-19 and the stay-at-home movement and all these other things that we have to comply with, now we are going back, and it's important for us to be able to understand, how do we deal with our stress and our financial life, right? And make sure that while we're going through this process, we are absolutely taking care of our health. Because isn't it true that if you don't have your health, you're not going to have your wealth? And if you have your wealth, but you don't have your health, what in the world are you going to do to enjoy it? So you got to have both. That's why I decided to maybe change things up a little bit and have a longer talk, have a longer episode, and bring in my friend to be able to host the call with me. And we're going to, like I said, do this every Friday. So All right. I hope you guys are able to see it. And if just in case we get disconnected again, because hey, this is live and it's live, please get on Zoom. You can get on Zoom and you can watch it. A lot of you guys have the Zoom dial in, and you guys can see it. So anyway, I want to go through, and I have my friend here. So I'll introduce her with this. Okay. This lady is absolutely a visionary. I believe that she's got. She is just a champion and fighter for her friends, for her family. When she believes in something, man, she goes after it. I love it. And when she sees something good, she's not afraid of being an advocate, and she's not afraid of telling her friends, no, you really need to take care of yourself. You really need to do this. And I want you to know that she's somebody who just didn't spring up. This is one of the most intelligent people I've met with. So let me introduce you to her a little bit. And before she comes on, I want to make a couple of comments before that. But just to read her bio a little bit so that way you guys can see it or hear it. Dr. Usha Mantha, MD. She's part of the FAAFP, which is the Fellow of the American Academy of Family Physicians. She's actually a diplomat in obesity medicine. That's a big deal. I think that's something that all of our country is pretty much suffering from, right? We're either depressed or obese. Dr. Usha Mantha, MD, is the founder and CEO of Verve Weight Loss and Laser Aesthetics, a medical spa located in Upland, California, in the greater Los Angeles area. Having trained and received membership from the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists in London, UK, Dr. Mantha has been a women's health expert for the past 30 years. That's a long time. Not only is Dr. Mantha a dual board certified physician in obesity and medicine in California and family medicine in Pennsylvania, but she's also a provider, instructor, and advisory faculty in advanced life support in obstetrics and advanced cardiac life support in adults. That's a lot of work, doctor. After decades specializing in women's health, Dr. Mantha trained and became an expert in weight loss management and has helped hundreds of patients in the Inland Empire with offices in Pomona and in Upland within the last 15 years. She's a director of weight loss and wellness clinic in Casa Colina Hospital for Rehabilitation, where she treats overweight and obese patients pre and post operative care. She's also a visiting faculty instructor at a school of medicine in Riverside and teaches family medicine and PMR, a resident of both Casa Colina and Pomona Valley Hospital medical centers. She's now the proud founder and CEO of Verve Weight Loss and Laser Aesthetics, where she continues to help patients be healthy from inside and be beautiful on the outside. And of course, we'll post all of her information. So if you guys are curious about and want to learn more about her, you can also visit her website at vervemedspa.com and learn more about Dr. Mantha's extensive range of treatment and options and all that good stuff. So during this major epidemic, and since we're going through unprecedented times, obesity, along with all of its inherited extensive metabolic disorders, has played a key role in the mortality among the victims. So normalizing weight loss is key in improving hosting immunity to fight with outside pollutants. So therefore, focusing on weight loss activities and maintenance of weight is more important now than ever before. So that's her bio, but let me tell you about who she is as a solid human being, okay? I love this lady because she's a visionary, okay? What is it? All right, she is a visionary, and let me go more. And being a visionary, there you go. Being a visionary, visionaries never see things for what they are immediately. They never lose focus of what they're about or where they're going. That's what I love about her. And you'll hear that in her story, and I think you'll connect tremendously. They're always seeing where they're going, which is bigger than where they're at right now, right? Why is that important? Because visionaries are connectors. They're collaborators. They get ridiculed just like the startups, just like anybody else. But you know what? They're resilient. And I think you're going to see that in her story. And it's the resilience that they carry that gets the job done. So Dr. Mantha, I know we've got so much to talk about. I mean, we were just kind of going over everything. We need days, not an hour, not half an hour for this. So we're going to break it up so that way we have an opportunity to be able to better understand what are the different ways that we can better ourselves? What are the different ways that we can always keep track of what we're doing health-wise and financially. But I would love to hear your story and for you to share a little bit about, you know, how you got started in all of this. And I mean, your education's from UK and you came here and you continued it. That must have cost a pretty penny. So talk about budgeting. That's crazy, right? So Dr. Usha Mantha, please take over. We'd love to hear more and learn more about you.
Thank you so much, Virginia. That was an amazing introduction. I'm so honored to join you, Virginia, because all of you who know Virginia, you know how brilliant, hardworking, and passionate she is about making your wealth work for you. So here I am, and I am passionate about making your health work for you. So this is how we both have got connected. So a quick overview of what to expect today. So I'm going to just talk briefly about who am I. Actually, Virginia has done an amazing job, so I'm not going to dwell too much upon it. And
Dr. Usha, your volume is a little sensitive. Is there anything that's hitting
okay.
The audio? If you can just maybe the mic.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Is that better? Okay, so yeah, so thank you for your introduction. And so briefly, I'm going to talk to you about who am I and why am I here and what am I going to give that will benefit you as, you know, all of our friends and family. So yeah, so I just want to let you know, like Virginia said, I'm a weight loss expert and love working with women for the last 30 years. That's what I have done. And my whole intention is to make you healthy from inside and beautiful from outside. What intrigued me as a child, as a little girl, was how come some people really looked put together? What it means is, how could some people come up from a very meager, very basic backgrounds and yet achieve so much? They work hard relentlessly and they just come up on the top. And I was always attracted to such people, and I always wanted to be one of them. So I did come from a small town in India, but was lucky enough to get into medicine as a career, and that actually opened up the doors that I'm here today. So basically, I met Virginia. I want to tell you the story how I met Virginia was in a network event. This is few of the networking events I've been going to, and I met Virginia there and I immediately fell in love. So all of you who know her passion, her enthusiasm, and her personality, and her brilliance, her command, and her passion. I think the passion is the most important part, how passionate she is to make your wealth work for you. And I thought, oh my gosh, I have always been waiting for this moment to meet someone who is as passionate about something they do as I am, because I'm crazy. And all of you who know me, I could talk for hours and hours. And she was the only other person who could talk hours and hours with me. So I was very happy to meet Virginia and connect with her. Of course, the actual bonding started because I told her my story, which I would like to share with you all. So my personal story began 20 years ago when I became a very young widow at age 36. I was left and my life changed. I was left with two young kids. My beautiful husband, Prince Charming, passed away after a short illness, and he was only 41 years of age. The only thing at that time, positive in everything in our lives, we were still residents in Pennsylvania when this happened. The only thing positive in our life was a life insurance policy he took. I would like to tell you the life insurance policy the premium was pretty hectic. We were both residents and we were on stipends. We weren't getting a pay. And every time I wrote that check for his life insurance policy, every single time I actually argued with him. However, ironically, the only big money that came, or any amount of money that came into my hands after he passed away, was his life insurance check. And that changed me. That really I realized that how vulnerable we are. We were physicians. We thought we were on the top of the world. We thought nothing could happen to us. But here he was diagnosed with a very short life-threatening illness at age 39 or a half, and he passed away when he was 41 years old. And some of you on Facebook Live, if you are there right with me, you've been through this with me. And I really appreciate you, because your family, your friends, you are everything to me. So I want to thank you on my way of this platform. So basically that happened, and all the frustration, sadness, and all the anguish was all replaced in the form of blessing, regards, in the form of a check that came to me from the life insurance corporation. And that day, my whole life changed. And that money that, God sent us actually has created two beautiful kids that grew up to be two beautiful citizens today. Every single penny that my husband could not earn while he was living, he actually made sure that he gave it to us when he was gone.
Wow, Usha, that's an incredible story. It's, we always talk about it. Sometimes we say, I can't believe it. Like, you're talking about it, it just gives me chills. That premium that you paid was more than 1/3 of what you made. It was a painful thing to do for you to pay it because it was so much of your budget, but yet he knew it. He knew that that policy could do for you what he couldn't after he was gone. That was so powerful that you just said that, because you see, most people look at everything in life that they go through as an expense, never as an investment. And of course, I've seen it, Usha. I've seen, doctor, when things get tough, the first thing most people think about cutting off is a life insurance policy. They can't work. The first bill that goes out that is an extra, instead of a necessity, they're looking at it as an extra, they cut it off. And that's what basically you're saying helped you with money after he was gone. So forgive me, continue. I just wanted to, I was like, I got goosebumps when you said that. I had to make a comment. That was incredible.
That's perfect. That's perfect. And this is the story which connected me, or actually sealed our bonding between me and Virginia, because I always jokingly used to say that, the LIC should put us as a, as a token picture, as an advertisement of what life insurance policy can do for you. And it's a true thing. And all of you who know my boys, who are independent, good citizens today, it's all because of that LIC policy that we took. And that LIC policy that I paid the premiums every single time, I cried about it, I whined about it and wished about it, but that has been the biggest blessing in my life. I could not have earned that money. Single mother could not have earned that kind of money to put them through the education I could do. So the vision that my husband had only could be carried forward by taking up a life insurance policy. So this was the bonding. This was the bridge between me and Virginia. Of course, I'm older than Virginia, so now she has to help me get retirements and everything else in my life. She's going to take care of my wealth while I take care of my health, my friends' health, Virginia's health, everybody's health. So this is the biggest bonding and connection I've had with Virginia. So this is how we have come to this platform, and this is where we start. What we are going to start is your health, your journey towards health. Remember, ill health, and when the health goes, the first thing you worry about is your wealth, because health and wealth are just two inseparable parts of a coin. They are two inseparable sides of a coin. Both have to be in the best shape. They both have to be in the best, shape and condition in order for the coin to work. And that coin is your life. So the life's coin has two faces, two aspects and two sides, and that's health and wealth. So I am here to talk to you about your health. I am here to hold your hands about your health. I'm going to be here alongside Virginia week after week to help you get healthy from inside and beautiful from outside. So having seen overweight and obesity in my practices for months and years, and what havoc it does to people. And every year in my practice, I diagnose 5 to 6 patients who are either overweight or obese with cancers. It breaks my heart. And 3 to 4 of these women are having breast cancers or uterine cancers. And every single time I diagnose this, I'm always thinking, oh my gosh, I should have asked them to lose their weight and, sort of get healthy. And that's where my weight loss center came from.
Wow.
And then, of course, that wasn't enough. I am very busy seeing women in my practice. Another small story is one time, one of my patients came in and she said, Dr. Mantha, for years and years, you've been telling me get healthy from inside, but look what happened with me. And she was distraught and crying. What had happened is her young husband of 25 years of marriage, he walked away with another woman just because she was prettier from outside, mind you. from outside only. However, and that made me feel that my patients, my women, my sort of friends and family need more inner health. And that's where I went and trained in aesthetic medicine, and I opened up my Verve Med Spa, which is also a laser aesthetic center. So that's my journey. And that made me realize so much we have to do for women to make them better, heal from inside and get beautiful from outside. And of course, I already had this notion since childhood that it has to be a full package. And so that's where we came from.
So you came initially from England to Pennsylvania, right? And
Yes.
then you continued your education there and moved out to California. And you survived basically on the planning of your husband's life changes. And as you went through that process, you went through a lot, I'm sure, as a single mother, raising two boys on your own, going through the teenage years, managing yourself with that budget. Now, you don't have to tell us how much money that was, but no matter what it was, it's a long time of survival without that additional income, right? And so you had to be the mother, you had to be the father, you had to be the plumber, you had to be the cook, you had to be the driver, you had to be, like so many people in life, you had to bear so many different roles. And I hear a lot of times men and women, but especially women, talk about, I don't have time. Virginia, if I had more time, I would be better at planning financially. Literally, I've had people say, I don't have time to budget. So how did you handle budgeting? And we'll get into the aspect of why health and wealth is important, but how did you manage yourself in time? Because I believe it's not time management. We all get the 24 hours. We got to manage ourselves in time, right? So how did you manage yourself in time to be able to be the mother, be the doctor, be the professional, be the business owner, be the everything? You were everything for your kids. And you also had only 24 hours, and you had to budget your income and look at things. So can you tell me a little bit about what you were going through when you were doing that financially? Because I see so many people just label it as, I don't have time. Label it as, I'm a single mom. Label it as, you don't understand all the things that I have to deal with. And they never look at their reality, because we go through it anyway. Whether I understand it, you got to go through it anyway. And it's your life. And how did you juggle it?
So on that note, I actually just came to my mind a small story I want to tell you, which I haven't told you. The lawyer who was there when my husband passed away, and he brought me a check of his life insurance, because that was the only money. I have actually never seen any amount of money, that much money in my life until that point, because I was still a resident. So this was the largest sum of money I ever saw in my hand. So I was almost shaking and saying, what do I do and how do I do? So the lawyer who brought that check to me said one thing to me. He said, Dr. Mantha, I request you, your husband was a dear friend. Please don't buy yourself a Ferrari, and don't go to a big house and spend it all money. He was a good old man. I still remember his wise words. He was in Pennsylvania in a small house we sat, and this is what he said. He said, I knew your husband, how passionate he was, that he wanted to send your older son to a Ivy League school and college. It will cost you a lot of money. Please hold on to it. And God, only knows that sort of advice that he gave me, I kept it. So I think the number one thing you have to do is to keep your vision very, very clear. I did not go on television. I did not go and talk to many women. I just did small changes in my career while I was bringing my boys up. Everybody who knows me, I worked 9 to 5. I was there at 9 o'clock. I dropped them on time. I went back at 5 and I picked them up. My boys, when they were growing up, were my priorities. Everything I did was around them, because I realized I had little money, or not so much money. But then I also realized there are mothers who don't work. Then they are left with 4 kids, 5 kids. How do they do it? I think for me, vision, discipline, gratitude were 3 major things. I remained grateful for every help I have had from my family, my friends, which has been enormous amount of help. And I kept my vision that I need to get these boys to become independent. And we have had this conversation that I believe you teach your children until age 13. Once they are teen, we are all talking about how they don't listen. As adults, we joke about that they are not listening to us, but we need to register that they really are not listening to us beyond that. So teach everything you can. If you don't talk to your kids, somebody else will. While you talk to them, don't say to them, if you don't, study, you'll become this, become that, because they can become anything and be successful. Tell them what you would like them to become, how you want them to become independent. So during their growing up, my vision was very clear. My money had to last their colleges. I don't want to run out of money before their colleges are done. So I had the 529 plan. I stayed with the same broker. I called him and I said him the only one thing, and they're not on this call, but they knew every time I picked up the phone, I said, I need money for college. That was my priority. And I think we know if we want to have the results, we got to make vision. We got to do budgeting. So during those days, those who know me again, I didn't flaunt my money. I didn't do anything that I wanted to. I did grow up with delayed satisfaction. And I think that also works. You must work towards it. No matter how someone tells you that it will be a quick money, there is no quick money. There is no free lunch. If someone buys us a free lunch, you got to ask what is the tag attached. So I think budgeting, having a vision, being grateful, and of course, humble and courteousness. Oh my goodness. Everybody who knows me, again, makes fun of me, but those things go very far. If someone is not courteous to me, I do not appreciate it. But I brought those things up with me from India to England, to America, to California, and I instilled that in my kids. So I think all these things I had to continue to talk to them. But now that they're grown up, now I'm in a phase I can plan my retirement, I can plan my health. So now is the time I'm paying more attention to my health because I'm getting older. So it all works up. It does work up. Life is actually much more simpler than we make.
I love it. I love it. I hope you guys are getting some great nuggets from this. I know I'm taking notes. When you see me look down, I'm not on my phone. Literally, I'm taking notes. So I wrote some things I think is just so impactful. You said clear vision, right? If you have a clear vision, would you say it's easier to budget? It becomes more of a motivation than anything that you do out of a fear factor, right? It doesn't make you miserable. It makes you actually have fun with where you're going and what you're doing. And then you said, when you have clear vision, you understand that you need to make small changes. And isn't it true that most people, especially women, have a tendency of overwhelming themselves with becoming this big figure? And, in life, I feel like we all, men or women, all alike, we all have certain hats that we wear, right? Some hats we choose, most hats we don't choose. Most hats are given to us by society. They're given to us by the way we fit into our family as a figure, as a man, as a woman, as a caregiver, so it's sometimes very cumbersome. It's difficult to be able to wear so many hats, and you get weighed down on, and you feel like you gotta turn over everything at once. And you made something very clear. You said if you have a clear vision, make small changes. You're not taking over the world. You're just making small changes at a time. But another powerful thing you said, small changes with delayed satisfaction. So delayed satisfaction doesn't just mean if you're not buying a Louis Vuitton bag, you're delaying your satisfaction. Delayed satisfaction could mean you're shopping from Ross. You're going and you're maybe taking the sales rack. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, right? It's all about making sure, one, you can look professional, you can look good doing it, and at the same time, you're saving money, because who do we work so hard for anyway? So if you allow yourself to delay that satisfaction today, you're going to come to live in a $2 million, $3 million house. You're going to come to have the kind of lifestyle and vacations that you want, because it's the experiences out of life that count, not the closet, tags. I know a lot of people have a lot of things in their closet, and they have a lot of tags. They don't even wear them. So who do we try to impress anyway? Life is so short. I think this pandemic has, no matter what our thoughts are on it, has really taught us to really think about life and what really do with it and how it really works, right? So I thought that was so impactful. I'm taking notes. I'm excited to have you on here. Man, we're going to learn a lot. Okay. So, Doc, let's move forward with how do we do this? Like, I'm somebody who's an entrepreneur, and I've been on my own for the last 20 years. And I'll tell you, my weight has gone up and down, has yo-yoed, just like, my budget has in the past. I've gotten better with my budget. I've gotten a hold on what I got to do, but I really struggle at times with my eating habits. I go to sleep every Sunday thinking Monday brings me to a new day of exercise. And then, I get busy and I forget. It's not part of my routine. What can I do to become healthier? What can I do to keep my body detoxed and cleansed and clean? Especially, we've been home for the last few weeks. So it's been a little bit easier to manage the food intake and what I eat, and it's cooked from home. So it's not as junky as I'm used to eating out. But what can we do? Is there like a routine? What would you advise? How can I keep myself, my energy, and my immune up? I mean, this viruses will go away, but we'll have other viruses. I bet you, like the next time we have a common cold, everybody's going to wear a mask again, thinking it's another pandemic, right? So what can we do as men and women out there, especially when we're on the go all the time? What can we do to take care of our health? Is there like an accountability system? What would you advise?
Okay, so thank you, Virginia, because that's kind of my passionate topic. And one of the things, as you say to all of our listeners and friends and family and patients, is don't be too hard on yourself. Look what this little minute virus has done to all of us. It actually brought us all on the same playing field, like level field, right? Whether we haves or have nots, it doesn't matter. We all are at halt because of this virus. Clearly, we also know from CV19 that patients or people who suffered the most in the form of death and dying were on the overweight side, were on obesity. They had multiple morbidities for high blood pressure, sugars, high cholesterol levels. So these patients and asthma, these were all actually the ones who have suffered most. The LA Times has shown us, and CDC is telling us, the numbers are coming in, and we definitely know that between 18 to 64, most of the patients were obese and overweight. So never before, right? Today in this world, now is the time, while we have this big halt that we didn't create, but somehow it got created for us. This whole pause is giving us time to take a very good inventory of not only just your wealth, but your health. Because remember, if you have your health, of course you will go out and make your wealth again. But all of those who are in poor health, all of those who cannot get out of the houses to enjoy the wealth, no matter what you have, it won't work. However, I just want you to be not too harsh. It's very normal for people to gain weight and lose weight. It's very normal for mothers to run around and eat at the side of the football field. I have done it. It's very normal to run around and eat French fries as your dinner. Whatever you are doing, it's all normal. This is life. So we are going to embrace all the normality. We are not going to create something super normal. However, from here onwards, from May 1st, 2020, we are going to do at least one small change per day for your health. Whether you eat healthy, whether you walk healthy, you talk healthy, whatever you can do, please do one thing a day. As you do for your wealth, please do for your health also. And that will keep us happy and healthy. I agree with you. We are not sure what we are going to go into. Fall will not be like, okay, fine, now we don't need anything. No, we will need all these precautions going into fall, winter, and coming year. The vaccines are not going to be here overnight. You don't want half-tested vaccines in your body. We got to wait till next year. We got to wait till January 21st, maybe in 2021. So we have to be doing what we can do. I always talk about two types of factors, which I want to talk about. One thing is your factors that you're born with. If you're born in certain religion, certain parts of the country, certain parts of the world, to special ethnic groups, you can't change it. You are just born and you're done. So as in monetary terms, people say, if you're born poor, it's not your fault, but if you die poor, then it is your fault. However, with health, it's very similar. If it doesn't, whatever you are born with, you got to take it and run with. So the second is the modifiable factors, which I'm very passionate about. The modifiable factors are your everyday eating, your everyday behavioral changes, your exercise. Those are the factors. And now more than ever, you are ingesting a lot of environmental pollutants, right? So what are they? They are your pesticides, they are your herbicides. You're ingesting them, you're taking medications, you're taking supplements. They all have additives, preservatives. You don't even know half of the time what you take. You go on Amazon, this is on sale, that is on sale, we grab it. So that's all is in the form of toxins. So I'm going to talk briefly about detox, because detox has been out there for many, many, many years. People have done detox in many shapes and many forms, and they have come out healthy from it. So detox is a process by which your body is going to get rid of these toxins. So how do we get these toxins? We ingest toxins. Second, we inhale toxins. Look at our fires, our fumes. I mean, whenever there is a fire in the, sort of mountains, we can see ash on our swimming pool. We are inhaling all that. Asthmatics, their lungs can go up and down in a day's worth. I can have a patient normal in the morning, but evening they are like wheezing. So this is how sensitive our lung system is. Our body is very intricate. So those are the ingested toxins. Even the lotions and the potions and the lipstick and the eyebrows, these are all toxins in some shape and form, and we are ingesting it. We are putting it on upon ourselves. So these are the types of toxins. Now, so what does the body do? Body is very, very, very efficient in actually detoxification in these toxins. So it goes through two phases. The first phase is when you ingest or inhale. So it goes through your gastrointestinal tract, it goes through your respiratory tract. That is your phase one. And it goes through your liver. Liver is a huge metabolic organ, like an organ with a lot of metabolic activities. So they actually, sort of purify these toxins. The second phase of your toxin comes from your kidney, for your lymphatics, and your gallbladder. So all the junk fat we eat, all the French fries that we are happily eating, the gallbladder has to really work hard to get rid of this fat. So that is the second part of your, sort of detoxification. So who should do detoxification, right? So you may ask, who should do it? So if you are fatigued, everybody is. If you're not losing weight, or if you're gaining weight, if you have poor memory, poor sleep, poor concentration, everybody of us, and you have joint pains, you have inflammation in the body. So those are all indicators that you are actually having more toxins than normal products in your body. So I am now being proponent of detoxification, but now I'm more than that passionate, because look at this virus. If we can clean our body and if we can get our immunity to be boosted up, we will be so much better to fight this virus and whether any other viruses. So all of the above patients who are actually depressed, who are anxious, they all can do detox, right? So they all can do detox. And so if you want to know, would you? Yeah.
How frequently, I've got a question. How frequently should you detox, doctor?
So detox currently, the current detox we are actually suggesting you do can be done every month.
Really?
Yes. So it can be done every month. It's done for over 2 weeks. The people, of course, who are pregnant, who are breastfeeding, or who are very fragile, those people have to definitely talk to their primary care doctors. And somebody like, I am always talking to my patients. In a day, I talk to about 5 to 7 patients about this, and I love it. And of course, patients who are taking medications for high blood pressure, cholesterol, your diabetes, blood sugars. So you should just talk to your doctor, but detox has been there for a long time, and it's very safe to do.
So I'm going to be selfish a little bit because I know people are asking, or maybe they're thinking and they're not asking. So I'm going to be the typical patient, and I'm going to be asking, okay? So I'm a firm believer of taking action. Wanting to go through detox and be better with my health has always been something that I talk about. In fact, all of my friends, my cousins, they all make fun of me because every time we have a get together or we have a nice dinner, we sit back and go, oh my gosh, I have food coma, I ate so much. And then we go, you know what? We've been eating so much and that's just been repeating. So we got to stop this, right? So I want to be able to, I want to become your guinea pig. Okay. I want you to test me and I want to learn myself because I hit 40 recently and I'm noticing that 40 and weight is like, I'm eating same or I'm eating less. My weight's not going down. In fact, it's creeping up. So I don't know if it's the amount of work I do, or, you know, the projects that I have. I'm not stressed out, but it seems like my body has a completely different mind of its own. And I think my mind here has to connect with my rest of my body. I think there's a message that is missing somewhere, lingering. So I would love to know, one, do you have a program, or do you have something that would be able to help me? And how could I go about creating or doing what I can do to, one, detox myself, and two, I don't know, do I need to? I've heard people talk about reintroducing food to your body after you detox. Like, don't go in eating all the pizzas and all the everything else just because you cleansed it doesn't mean that you got to clog the pipes up again, right? So how is that true? You got to introduce the right foods again and watch, like that's a journey, right? So it's like the same thing when you strip your money, your finances down to your budget, to your core, and then you add little by little, like have the goddamn latte if you need to have the latte, right? Drink the coffee. It's okay. That $5 isn't going to kill you, but if you do it 5 times a day, it'll kill you financially, right? So there's a right balance, if you will, or a right rhythm of juggle. So I want to know for myself, and just like we did the money challenge, I'm going to challenge anybody who wants to go on this health challenge with me. And today is the first. I don't think there's a better time to start than today. So I want to learn from you. I'm your patient. What would you do? I want you to coach me. We talked about this a little bit. I coach you financially. You coach me health-wise. How do we do this?
Yes. So this is what I have in mind for you. Okay. So number one, yes. So the type of detox I'm proposing is purely plant-based. Okay. So it's pure protein, it's pea protein, and it's plant-based, number one. Number two, it has hypoallergenic, it's made in the United States and it's hypoallergenic, and it is a complete nutrition during the time of detox. So it comes with instructions in a box. It comes in a box, and we can drop ship your address. Yeah, it comes in a box.
Get out of here! So I don't have to go out there and dig myself into the grocery store. And
especially with this
perfect for me. That's what I need. Give me a box and instructions. Okay, all right. So go ahead. Sorry, I get excited very quickly.
No, that's good. That's good, right? So you don't have to go to Costco's or any other place, and you will be staying on your desk, and you get this box at home. So it comes with instructions, it's drop shipped to your place, and it comes with packets with your, sort of shakes in it. Okay, so now those are purely protein. So a little bit of physiology behind detox is that during the detox, the body will utilize high amounts of protein and amino acids. These are like supplements that we need, and we need certain amount of B complex, vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin D, and copper. All these are actually supplied in your box along with the packets of your shakes in the form of pills, which you will be taking with instructions again 2 times a day. Okay, so and the process is such that during those 2 weeks, of course, you will be eating a little bit of lighter diet in order to lose some weight. Remember, the body, the way the body is built, we will start eating, then we keep eating. If we become healthy, we keep becoming healthy. Brain is very powerful. It gets into one mode and it keeps pushing because brain likes it. Now I'm eating, I'm not going to talk to anybody. I'm going to keep eating. I don't want, oh yeah, I'm stressed, I'm eating. Oh, I'm celebrating, I'm eating. And we create this brain, right? In the brain, believe it or not, there is nothing in the brain. It's all about stomach. You distend the stomach and it tells your brain when to stop. So yeah, hunger is a learned phenomena. And people worry about, oh, I'll be hungry and I'll die. Nobody dies from hunger within a 24 to 48 hours period. If you are hungry for days and days and days, and if you're not given food for days and days and days, you may become malnourished and develop diseases and die. However, we have yet to see people dying from hunger or, that kind of thing in the general population that we deal with. So bottom line is, it's not about hunger. We don't need to worry about hunger. Hunger is a learned phenomena. Whether you put fluid in your stomach or you put high calorie dense nutrition in your stomach, you will, your brain will still be happy. So detox will be done for 2 weeks. You will be doing it at home. You'll have all instructions, and 95% of people have lost 6 to 8 pounds in 2 weeks. So here you have an amazing packet to be done at home. And talking about reintroducing your fluids back into your system, of course, we are trying to make you eat healthy. We are trying to make you eat less amount of food, because in general, we are all eating more food than we require in general. We all do. And that's where the energy comes. So yes, you can cut back on food a little bit. You still have to introduce healthy diet into your, when you come back after your detox. But that's something that we can keep talking, and I will be coaching you throughout. And don't forget to exercise and change your behavior during the detox.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's important. One of the things that I have seen, in budgets, so let's kind of tie money and wealth together. One of the things that I've seen in budgets is a large amount of money that goes into food, alcohol, cigarette, coffee, industry, entertainment, all things food related, okay, all things nutrition or malnutrition related. So because food is it's a necessity, but it's also, sometimes in people's lives, we always talk about, before Starbucks, there were plenty of coffee shops, there were plenty of coffee bean shops, there were plenty of other coffee places that people could hang out with, right? I mean, there was coffee at the drugstore, there was coffee at the donut shop, there was coffee at the mall, there was coffee everywhere. Coffee is not a new thing, but what Starbucks successfully did was it planted a place in your life. It changed your routine, which is what you're talking about, right? So it's like before we go to work, we stop by Starbucks, then we go to work. All of a sudden, we've got one more place to go before we get there. But at lunch, before we go back, we grab another cup of coffee from Starbucks, we go. Or before we go home, we go to the grocery store, and conveniently, there's another Starbucks there, and we grab another cup. So it kind of like snuck itself into our lives, and we started spending without really realizing how much we're spending. There's so much money that goes into it. So changing behavior is easy to say, but it's very difficult to do. So on a budget, when it comes to cleansing yourself, when you talked about eating light, I know the instruction in the box is light, because your version of it might be my version of light. So I don't know if it's a calorie count or it's measuring and all these things. Like, can it be simple enough? Could it be easy enough for me not to feel deprived, for me to have a cup of latte without thinking about, oh my God, all the calories? Can I buy that without thinking I'm breaking my budget? There's always got to be a little bit of wiggle room, right? For us, just like you said, for us not to feel guilty, because if we feel guilty and we're feeling shameful and we're feeling like we're cheating, these are all negative things that don't give the right pattern. In fact, it interrupts a lot of the positive pattern that we have to go through. So would you recommend, like I don't know if you can talk about a budget, or if you've ever come across that question before, like the cost of food, is it expensive to live? Do you have to buy all of the, Whole Foods, expensive, things? And I just found out a lot of their whole food expensive, I don't know, all that stuff is not what we thought it was. So what do you think? What would you say?
So that's a very interesting topic, and it's a very practical topic that if
you think we don't have time, maybe we could make an insert and go like next Saturday we could talk about, I got an idea. Sorry to interrupt. These things come to mind really quickly. But what if we do this? What if we create a journal, right? And so I'm asking everybody to do a journal of what they're spending and what they're saving on a weekly basis. And I think the first step towards success is awareness. And in the beginning, we're all living in denial. Like, that's not how much I eat. That's not how much I spend. That's not where I go. So what if we create a journal for the first week, and since we're going to be here next Friday also, maybe we take a couple of samples of the journal to see what they saved, what their expenses were, what they ate, what was their diet, what was the breakfast on Monday, lunch on Monday, I don't know, snack. What if they made a list, and that way we can kind of look into it? Do you think that would be a good exercise to kind of leave everything with?
Absolutely, yes. So keeping a journal will be amazing. Only one sentence I want to say, which is very, very crucial. Let me say this. Once you become overweight and obese, once you have one of the diseases set in, let me tell you, this will cost you so much more. So, one phone call to my office with one illness causes you a lot more money than you spending time with your health before you hit our doors.
Wow.
So your health becomes immediately expensive. Okay. If you have one illness, two illness, no matter how you look at it, because if you become sick or ill health, then we come into action. Other people will come into your lives. A step before that, if you want to save money in long term, invest in your health now.
Wow.
Health, you have to, because it becomes expensive. It becomes expensive to provide health to others. If you did not take care of your body, you show up in emergency room, you show up in my office, I and 5 of my girls are providing health. Guess what? You didn't spend $5 on your proper food. Now you're going to pay $50 for 5 of us. Wow. So that is one key feeling or a thought I want to give to all my viewers, is that think about it. Health, when it's normal and it's inexpensive. When there is sickness, there is, it's very expensive. It's so expensive to be sick that you don't want to do that.
No, that's a powerful statement. It's interesting that you say that, because we always say it, and we say it often in our estate planning workshop. We say, you either pay now or you're going to pay so much more later on. Either way, you need to pay. You pick which cycle in your life to make sure that you save later. And I'm sure you see so many people in your life, right? Because you're a doctor and you've got patients who are coming in who, like you said, are obese. And we talk about long-term care nowadays and how expensive it is to be able to receive care for your health, not just from the hospitals, but if you fall and you need to be taken care of, then that's long-term care. That's it's mind-boggling. And we talked about it this morning too, how expensive that could be.
Yes, so I agree with you. This is 1st of May, 2020. We have never, ever been through this before. Let us embark on a journey to be healthy, to fight this virus from inside out. Let us not wait. Let us not waste money about worrying about which mask protects how much percentage of bacteria. Wash your hands with simple soaps that cost like 10 cents, 15 cents, 20 cents. Wash your hands. Cover yourself for your own self. Don't worry about the vaccines. You and I will not be part of creating a vaccine anyway. Why worry about it? But what we could do today is to grow our own food. Make sure we wash our food, make sure we share our food, make sure we take care of each other, make sure we call each other. Mental health is number one right now. I'm dealing with so much anxiety. I cannot tell you, every 3rd phone call in my office is about anxious women. I love it. I love that I'm, very sort of fortunate to be situated to help my patients. I am so grateful to God. However, I can't help you if you don't help yourself. I cannot help you. I cannot take away your weight by magic. However, I would definitely know that if you prevent the weight gain, prevent the immunity, going down, you will come out as a winner.
Awesome. Dr. Mantha, 2 more things before we go. Do I have to be glued to my house for me to do the detox?
No. You may have a little bit of more urination in the 1st week, but your body adjusts it. And no, you don't have to be glued to
so I don't have to wear a diaper or be
no.
like look for the restroom, the first building I walk into, like Target. Okay, all right.
Yeah, right. If you are having that, and as it is, we are not having the TBs anyway. So please don't do it. Don't show up at Costco and say, my doctor put me on detox, I need to do this. No. If that happens, but I hope not. No, okay, this is actually very effective and very simple.
So how can people find out more about you? And I know I'll post your website and your information, but you talked about the detox box. First of all, how can I get it? Can you tell people if they're maybe interested in looking into it? how they can get it, how they can find it, how they can learn more about it, how they can get in touch with you. Can you talk to us about that a little bit?
Yes. So in order to contact us for the detox, you can call us at 909-377-2939, and we will take your call. We'll go over that with you, and we will place an order. Presently, that's what we are working with, because the company can drop ship it to your house. And then secondly, we have a number you can call and schedule an appointment with me. Same number you could call, or there is another number you can text us, which is 909-734-1834. So, and you text the word detox and you will get my schedule. So you can get on my schedule and I will take your call and we will talk one-to-one. You can also email us at info@vervemedspa.com. That is VERVEMEDSPA.com. And finally, you can visit my website, but like everybody else's website, it's always in making. Something new is being added. So you may find a lot, you may not, but if you call us and talk to me, of course, we are here to help you.
Absolutely. And I will post all of this on our page. Facebook was acting up a little bit, but Instagram has been rolling. And of course, we have this wonderful recording that we will post and make sure that we have available. Dr. Usha, I'm excited about what the journey I'm embarking with you. I want to be healthy because I know we're living longer, and I certainly want to be able to enjoy the wealth that I create. And, you know, I don't want to just make it, create it, and then leave it and go in a nursing home without being able to comprehend what happens with me. So I want to be able to be healthy, and I want to be able to travel the world yet again and do all the crazy things that I want to do. But I know a lot of that has to do with our health and how we go about our daily life. So I would love to go through the schedule or the calendar, or what we eat and what we do. So guys, as we're closing off today, what I want you to do is I want you to think about, right? I want you to think about and write. Take a calendar, take a schedule, take a piece of paper. You don't have to be complicated. You don't have to wait until you buy a new notebook and, you know, do all these. Sometimes in life, we put so much time into planning. There's not enough time left into acting. So don't just plan. Let's act on it. So today's the 1st. I hope you guys saved your $1, right? It's only $1. It's not a big deal. Save it. Save your $1. I hope you're able to write out everything that you're spending money on, online, utilities, rent, whatever, everything you're spending money on, including money you're spending on food, groceries. But I also want you to write down, what did you eat? What did you consume? And we will go through it next Friday with Dr. Usha Mantha, and we'll go through and understand, is this good food? Is this bad food? Should you eat this in moderation with this? Because I've also heard that when you eat the wrong combination of food, it acts up on you in the wrong way. So I want to thank you so much, Dr. Usha, for being here, for being with us, for helping us on our journey of health and wealth. And I'm looking forward to maybe putting together, I don't know, a printout or maybe some sort of a form that can help them on a weekly basis channel what we're doing and how we're doing it, and just stay accountable. I think in life, when we have people that we can stay accountable to, it makes things a lot easier, and it makes success a lot easier. So again, thank you so much for taking your busy schedule and your time and being here with us and coaching us on how to be healthier, so that we can be wealthier and we can be wise with what it would do with our future. So thank you for your clear vision. Thank you for your small change movement. And thank you for talking about delayed satisfaction, because it's absolutely true. So thanks again so much, and have a wonderful rest of your day. All right. Have a good weekend. We'll see you guys next week.
Thanks.